We are so back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the NBA season is finally back, and boy, it is great. It is a great season so far. This is maybe the best starting week of basketball I've ever seen. Um, just so many great games, so many great matchups, so much drama in the games. It's absolutely incredible. Today we're just going to be talking about some of our takeaways, right? So we'll talk about our takeaways for the Nets, our takeaways for the Nuggets, and then, of course, my takeaways for just the rest of the league. Um, and then, of course, at the end of the episode, like always, we'll do our games of the week. We'll talk about the ones we did last week. We'll do our ones for this week. As always, drop your predictions in the comments below. If you do really well, then hey, I'll get you something cheap. Um, anyway, and hey, drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment if you think this is something that you're really into, right? Trying to bring some fun basketball content to your guys' YouTube, to your guys' Spotify, whatever it may be. Trying to bring a podcast that looks at everything for basketball. Anyway, let's get into it. So we're gonna start with the Nets and Nuggets just because I think that's the easiest to start with. Obviously, takeaways for the Nets. They're not a very good team. They're not a very good team. They are, but we expected that, right? We knew they weren't a good team. We knew they were rebuilding. We know they're tanking for Cam Boozer, AJ DeBansa. I'm gonna have to learn how to pronounce that when he's a Brooklyn Net. But we've known obviously they're not great. They're not supposed to be great, but also they've shown flashes we know, like Cam Thomas is able to get his own bucket still. We saw him drop 33 and 9 assists, right? So he's kind of expanding his game beyond that just scorer mindset, which it's like awesome now that we know he's not going to be on the team next year. He showed flashes of this last year, and we just didn't re-sign him, which just really pisses me off about the management because it's like I recognize that you want the young players who you think are going to win you games, but once you get one of them, are you going to re-sign them or not? It's just this franchise doesn't keep talent around. So that it's kind of bittersweet watching him because it's like, wow, what a great player. It sucks that he's not going to be a Net next season. Michael Porter Jr. had a really solid game as well. He had 31 against the Cavs. I think the takeaways have been their defense is god-awful, right? They're going to really need to improve that. The only real plus defender in that starting five they've been running is Nick Claxton. I kind of want to see Drake Powell get minutes because of that. I'm really high on Drake Powell. I think he's a really solid defender. He's got the tools. He's got the hustle to be a great defender. It does, it is difficult to play all these rookies, right? But so far, 2 of them have gotten meaningful minutes. That's kind of what we'll focus on here. Saraf, obviously, taken 26th. Yeah, 26th. He was. Look, I haven't been a fan really of that draft pick. I think that his upside to me is just kind of limited. I don't really see the vision. I think he's a decent passer, but we know that it's difficult for pass first point guards to really get accustomed to playing in the NBA. I know he was a professional player in Israel and a little bit in Germany, right? But it's like, can we really look at him and be like, he's ready? I feel like the whole idea of he played professionally, I don't think it's really shown to me. I think he is more NBA ready than guys like Traore, but when he's a decent passer, but his scoring upside isn't really there. His defensive upside isn't really there. His defensive upside definitely isn't there. I mean, I'm rooting for the kid. Obviously, I'd love to see him do well. It's just difficult for me to say this guy's an NBA player for the future because I don't really see that yet. Now, he's one of the younger players in the draft, right? So I can't, I'm trying not to jump to conclusions here where it's he's still got time to really show us, yes, he is an NBA player. We just need to see him do that. I think he will get there. It's just a question of when and how much opportunity do you give him in that starting five. Obviously, he started 2 games now. He's shown flashes of being really solid, but also he hasn't really impressed. The other guy, on the other hand, Yegor Dioman, is really impressed. I've been really impressed with him. So far, it's been a lot of threes. So far, it's been him shooting a lot, which we thought coming out of college that he couldn't shoot. But now it's like he's a three-point specialist, which is very interesting. He's been really efficient from beyond the arc. His jump shot has looked really good. He's looked really confident shooting it. I think it's difficult for us to say, like, oh, Yegor, what's the weakness in his game now? I mean, the handle isn't incredible. The defense is, like, he still needs work getting to his spots. I would like to see him get inside a little more, but also he's surrounded by a team that isn't great. I just think that it's difficult for me to really say, like, oh, Yegor is not ready, because I feel like he is. Like, he looks good. He looks really good. I think that it'll be interesting to see what happens when he has the ball in his hands a little more. So far, like I said, he's looked more like a three-point specialist. I want to see him look more like that point guard. I want to see him make a few more of those plays that we saw him make at BYU. But I think it is really promising. I think that kid's got a ton of upside, a ton of talent. I really do believe in him. I think so far he's looked really good. He had a good game against the Cavs. He really, like, he was clutch. He hit a big three at the end. He was excited. The guys seemed to like playing with him. Like, I think we might actually have a homegrown star in Brooklyn. And that's exciting. That's exciting from a Nets perspective. Are they going to be good this year? No, but if we could see Yegor, maybe one of those other guys, maybe Saraf takes a jump, maybe one of those other guys gets opportunity and starts to play really well. If we could see them really blossom this year, that would be awesome. That would be really cool. From the Nuggets side of things, it's a whole different story, because the Nuggets are a good basketball team, right? They lost their first game against the Warriors, which, just quick side tangent here about the Warriors. I underestimated the Warriors. I'll admit it. So far, it's looked like it's looking like I was wrong about the Warriors, because when you look at their roster, I think for a few reasons I underestimated them. First of all, I tend to go against older teams because I just expect them to decline. I tend to just not believe in them as much. I tend to kind of go toward those teams that are younger and I feel like could improve a little bit more. And the Warriors are an old team. They are very old. Secondly, when they had an off-season where they didn't do much, I was so disappointed by their off-season that I think I reflected that onto their season, right? I was like, man, this off-season hasn't been great. A lot of other teams are getting better, and they haven't improved much. So I think I forgot, there's still a good team that played well last year, especially once Jimmy Butler joined the team. I think it's difficult for me to say, I think it was just, it was out of sight, out of mind, kind of. Like, they didn't do anything, and I was like, I don't think they'll be as good this year. When in reality, they'll probably still be really good. They've still got great chemistry. They've still got good talent. And I think the third thing is, I mean, this is kind of an excuse, but I made that prediction before Al Horford joined the Warriors. I think he's helped a lot. But also, it's not just him. It's like Jonathan Kuminga has really improved. Jimmy Butler is still doing his thing. Steph is still Steph. Draymond has looked, like Draymond, right? Got a technical foul in the first half of his first game of the season, which is hilarious. But also, I don't understand why he's still doing that. It kind of annoys me that he still does that shit. Because it's like, you're such a good defender. You're such a good playmaker. And you're still such a hothead. And it's like, you're now 37 years old, 36 years old, something like that. An old, 35 maybe, I don't know, but an old veteran. And now it's just annoying. It's just annoying. Because it's like, I get that you're an enforcer for this team, and I get that you're passionate about this team, but grow up a little bit. It tires me that he's constantly fighting with the refs and fighting with other people and making these, and I'm like, he's such a talented player that he shouldn't be someone who is has such a big weakness in his game just because of the mental aspect, just because he's constantly yelling at people, just because he's constantly making problems. It's annoying to me. It's annoying. I just don't like it's grow up. Like Draymond, seriously, stop it. You're supposed to be a role model for these younger players. And what are you doing? You're going for the most technical fouls of all time. Seriously? Seriously? Come on. Come on. It's like, it hurts your team. It hurts you. It hurts the the fans. It hurts the idea of basketball that you're just constantly complaining about stuff. It's just, it annoys me. It really does. But as a team, the Warriors, I'm sorry. I'll admit when I'm wrong, right? I will admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about this. Um, I was underestimating the Golden State Warriors. I apologize. Um, anyway, back to the Nuggets, right? So they lose that game. I don't think that they should, it's not that big of a deal, right? You lose your first game of the season. You've got a lot of guys who just joined the team. Aaron Gordon had literally one of the best performances, well, definitely the best performance of his life. One of the best performances I've seen. He hit, 10 of 11 threes? 10 threes? And dropped 50 points in the first game of the year. Like, Aaron Gordon might be going for an all-star spot this year. He's just, like, it's been so impressive to see him improve his game so much, and really work on, he wasn't a great shooter when he got to Denver. Wasn't a great shooter even in the championship run. And then now, last year, he just comes out, and all of a sudden he's a great three-point shooter. This year, obviously, it appears to be the same thing. He's looking confident. He's shooting the ball well. And it's like, this is a whole new side of his game. Whole new side of his game. And it's just it's awesome to see, honestly. It's awesome to see him shoot the ball so well. I think it's going to be interesting to see if he continues that production. Obviously, in the next game, he didn't put up as incredible numbers, but if he continues to be such a great shooter and such a great scorer, I do think we could see him be an all-star caliber guy. I thought at the end of that Warriors game, though, I was like, why are we going to that Jamal and Jokic, two-man game when that hasn't worked particularly well, right? When you look at that, it's like Jamal has a tendency to kind of dribble too much, right? And Jokic wasn't hitting his shots in that game. And it's like, I understand that that's one of the best two-man games we've ever seen. I understand that you're willing to go back to that every single time. But when Aaron Gordon is having himself a night like that, get the ball in his hands. Why are we depending on Jamal Murray to hit a game-winning shot when Aaron Gordon is literally having the performance of his life? When he's got 50, and we're why, when it's in overtime, are we not going to Aaron Gordon? I think that's a problem that I've had with the Nuggets for a few years now, is that I understand that Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. I understand that two-man game with him and Jamal is great. I understand that Jamal Murray is very clutch. But when someone else is having themselves a night, they don't like to get them the ball, right? It happened a lot with Michael Porter Jr., where it was Mike would be having a great night, and at the end of the game, he's got 30, and they're not looking to get him involved in the offense at the end of the game when it's close. And I'm like, if that guy's feeling it and Jamal and Jokic aren't, why aren't we? I understand why that two-man game is so great, but I don't get why, it's, if someone's got the hot hand, feed the hot hand. I don't know. It's just an interesting kind of dynamic. But still, I think there's some things to be really happy about from that game, right? They're going in. That's their first game of the season. It's the Warriors' second game. And they go in. They put up a really competitive game. They've got to be happy about that. In the next game, they looked really good. The game last night against the oh my God, I'm blanking. I'm just totally blank. Oh, the Suns. I don't know. I watched that game last night. But against the Suns, I thought they looked really good, right? I thought nobody had to go berserk for them to win. Jokic was a pass-first player in that game. He didn't score much at all. I think he only had 10 or 12 points. He didn't score much at all because he didn't need to, because other guys were getting it done. Jamal had some really nice shots. He scored some really solid buckets. But then also you look at guys Cam Johnson started to step it up a little bit. I know that three-point shot is still they're still kind of waiting for that three-point shot to start falling. But that'll happen. That'll come with time, right? He looked good creating his own shot a little bit, making the extra pass, right? I think that that's something that that's some of the value of having him there instead of Michael Porter Jr. It's like, well, he makes his own passes, right? He makes the extra passes. Like he'll find the open teammate more often than not. Um, Guys like Aaron Gordon had another good game. Also, crazy highlights. There were some crazy highlights in that one. That was fun to watch. It was just like that is what I think this Nuggets team should look like, right? I think that is what that Nuggets team should be. Is a team that is fun to watch. They run with energy. They get out in the break. They were creating some turnovers, which I was really impressed with. And it was fun. It was really fun. I'm wearing the Bruce Brown jersey today. For all the people on YouTube, you can see it. I'm wearing the Bruce Brown jersey. I got this at their finals run, or during their finals run, I should say. And I had to break it back out because Bruce is back and he's played really well. He brings such great energy to that team. The cowboy, the hat tip 3-point celebration. I'm a big fan of that one. I haven't seen him do that before, or if I have, I forgot it. But the cowboy hat tip, that was really fun. But I honestly think the Nuggets look really good. I think that the West should be really scared of the Nuggets because they've got great talent and they appear to be a cohesive group at this point in time. They're getting there. Guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. have had some solid games for them so far. Jonas Valanciunas, I'm so happy with that pickup because that's the best backup center that they've had in Jokic's tenure as a Nugget, and now you can take Jokic off the court and still feel happy about that unit. That's just huge for the Nuggets. I think this is their best chance of winning a championship since they won a championship easily. Other stuff across the league, though. We've got a lot going on. I already talked about the Warriors a little bit. Let's talk about that Rockets-Thunder game. So first of all, the Rockets' big lineup worked better than I thought it was going to. I thought it was a fun idea, but I wasn't super high on it actually working, right? We did see lapses, right? Those guys aren't really used to bringing the ball up, right? And then when Amen Thompson went out with that injury, luckily he came back the next game, so it's nothing too serious, but went out with that injury, it was clear that no one really was used to bringing the ball up. Maybe Kevin Durant, but even still, that's not really KD's role. I think KD has actually fit in really well with this Rockets team. He has been, someone who just it's Kevin Durant. We know who he is, right? He's someone who fits into pretty much any offense because every offense can use efficient buckets, and Kevin Durant gives you efficient buckets. Now, he had a few lapses in that Thunder Rockets game. It is clear that he's no longer quite at that peak that he used to be at, but he's still such a great scorer. There were some times where it was like, he's going up against Lou Dort, he's going up against Alex Caruso, he's going up against these great defensive players, and he's hitting these tough shots, and it's just like, man, he is one of the best scorers this league has ever seen. He fits extremely well alongside those other guys. Şengün had a really good game, and I think that Şengün and KD actually complement each other pretty well. I think that it's going to be difficult for us to really say, this Rockets team right now is 0-2, but it's difficult to say, this is an 0-2 team in terms of talent, because they're not. In terms of talent, this team is really good. I think they do still have a couple issues to address. One of which is the biggest one, I think, is who is your true point guard, right? Because Amen Thompson, I know that he can play the point guard. I know that they were comfortable with him playing the point guard a little bit, but he's not a traditional point guard. He's not super comfortable shooting the three ball, even though he shot it a lot. But I was like, you're shooting it too much. Get downhill. You're one of the greatest athletes this game has ever seen. Attack the rim, I do think it's difficult for us to say, okay, Amen Thompson is a point guard. Is he, though? Is he a point guard? Or is he more of I know he's comfortable with the ball, but is he a small forward who is comfortable with the ball in his hands? And then your backup is Reed Shepherd, who, is he a point guard or is he more of a shooting guard? I think he's struggled a little bit just because, he's comfortable in that three-point shot. It hasn't been falling yet. I think it will. Just because he is so comfortable in it, but he's small. They attack him when he's on defense. The other team is attacking him, right? He's not really a great great at creating his own shot. He's not a great playmaker. I think he showed flashes of being decent, and I do believe in him being solid, but it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate for them that Freddie Van Vliet is missing the whole season because it's like they don't really have a point guard to fill his shoes. But they still looked really good against the Thunder. The Thunder went to double overtime in both of their first games. So let's talk about that a little bit, right? First of all, I think it's time to put the free throw merchant argument to rest because first of all, I'm so tired of that argument. Let me just say, I know I'm doing a lot of ranting this episode, but I'm tired of that argument. Like, it's not true. It is not true. I understand he gets to the line a lot. First of all, he's literally getting fouled. Like, he is. He's getting fouled. When someone drives as much as Shea does, and when they're so difficult to defend, he's going to get fouled. Second of all, I know people are annoyed with the pump fake, get him to bite, and then get the free throws. I know that can be annoying to watch as a fan, but why are we acting like that's not smart basketball? It's smart basketball. And the idea of, oh, well, he only scores because he's a free throw merchant. If it was that easy, everyone would score 55. Everyone would be averaging over 40. But guess what? They're not. They're not. Because Shea is one of the best players in the NBA. The sooner people recognize that he's so good, the sooner you can be like, oh, we lost to Shea. Not because he's a free throw merchant, but because he's really good. But because he can take the game over at the very end. But because when it's crunch time, he's one of the guys you want having the ball. It's annoying to me that people are discrediting him because he's such a great scorer. He's got one of the best mid-range jump shots we've seen ever. He's got a really good three-point shot. He's so good at getting to the rim. He is good at finishing through contact. He is good at finishing despite the foul, right? He gets a lot of and ones. I just think it's like, can we really say that Shea is not an elite scorer and that he's a free throw merchant? No, we can't. Shea is ridiculously talented. It's so annoying when people discredit great players because it's like, recognize the greatness that's in front of you. Recognize who you're watching. Like, I'm convinced some basketball fans hate basketball. I'm convinced they do. It's really annoying. But the rest of the Thunder team looked really good too, right? Like, Chet had a really solid game, both in their first game and their last game against Atlanta. I missed that game against Atlanta, but statistically, it looked like he had a really solid game. J-Dub has missed time, right? J-Dub hasn't played yet, and still they're winning these games. That's ridiculous. I think it is really promising. I think the Thunder are still the best team in the league. That's what I think. I think the Thunder are still the best team in the NBA. The Thunder are still a team that is ridiculously good defensively, and they've got a bunch of offensive punch. They're just really good. There's not a whole lot to say there because they do look the same as last year, right? A team like the Rockets has changed a lot more. But despite injuries, the Thunder have stepped up. Also, shout out to A.J. Mitchell. He stepped up big time for the Thunder. What other teams do we have to talk about? The other team that the Thunder played, the Indiana Pacers, I was impressed with how they performed despite not having Halliburton and McConnell, right? So they didn't really have their point guards. They didn't have their guard depth. Then Nembhard goes out with a wrist injury in that game against the Thunder. And still, they win. Or, well, they don't win, but they fight. That's the thing that the Pacers do. They fight. And it's just impressive. It's impressive how much they want the games. I really like watching the Thunder. Or the Pacers. God, I'm really out of it today. It's Benedict Mathurin, first of all. I've been really high on Benedict Mathurin for a long time. I think that he's someone who's really talented. I think that he's someone who is a great basketball player. Pascal looked really good. Pascal's now going to have a lot of opportunity with Halliburton out. Hit the over for Pascal. I think he's going to get a lot more volume this year than he has in the past because he is an all-star caliber player. I do expect him to be an all-star again this year. I think that starting center depth is still a little questionable, right? You got guys like Jay Huff, who is solid, but maybe not someone you want taking all your minutes. They are playing Tony Bradley, who, once again, same thing, maybe don't want him getting a ton of minutes. And then you've got guys like, Obi Top and Jarris Walker. They were playing these more small ball center minutes alongside Pascal, and like that was working. Like they were playing well. I just think that team is so fun to watch, and the fact that they can take the Thunder to double overtime is just incredible because it was such a great game. I think that's my pick for game of the year so far. That should have been my game of the week, but I wasn't sure how the Thunder were going to look. Not the Thunder. I knew how the Thunder were going to look. I wasn't sure how the Pacers were going to look. Obviously missing a lot from their championship run, but they're still just such a talented basketball team. They're fun to watch. I'm kind of rooting for them this year. Other teams to talk about. The Lakers. Let's talk about the Lakers because the Lakers are in a weird spot. So they've been missing LeBron, right? They haven't had LeBron. That's been difficult, obviously, because now it's like, who creates shots when Luka's not? The thing is, when Luka's on the court, he is. He's so ridiculously good with the ball in his hands. He's one of the best in the league at scoring with the ball in his hands. I think that it wouldn't be ridiculous to see a Luka Doncic MVP season. He's that ridiculously good. He's that ridiculously good. The thing is, the Lakers defensively and outside of Luka Doncic need a lot of work, right? Defensively, they don't look incredible. We've known that this was a weakness of theirs. Offensively, besides Luka, it's a little rough, right? I know Austin Reeves, he looked better in that game against the Wolves, their second game of the season. The first game of the season was a little rougher, but then against the Wolves, they kind of got it going. So it was like, okay, this team's looking better. But I think it is difficult for them to create stuff without Luka on the court. I think it is, and like Luka on the defensive end, I know people are like, well, he slimmed down a little bit, but even still, like his cardio isn't great, his hustle isn't great, his screen navigation isn't great. He's got a lot of stuff that he's still got to work on, or that I don't know if it's like, oh, he's got to work on it because he's like, it might just be he will never be a good defender. I think that's what people need to realize is he's never going to be a great defender. But luckily for the Lakers, he's one of the best offensive players of all time. So it cancels out. I just think that Luka is someone who is going to win you some games, but is he going to win you enough? Like, are the Lakers going to be able to compete in the Western Conference when they're just relying on Luka to take them there? That's why I think they need LeBron back as soon as possible, because then when Luka isn't on the court, then LeBron can kind of be like, okay, like we've still got talent, we've still got a guy who can create shots for others, create shots for himself. But it's going to be interesting to see like what that team looks like throughout the rest of the year. I still do think they're going to be solid. I think they're still going to be good. It's just like DeAndre Ayton also hasn't really impressed so far, which was the biggest pickup of their offseason. But I still think like okay, they've got stuff. They've still got talent. It's too early to jump to conclusions. All this stuff is just my early takes. Like this could easily change by the end of next week. It could change by the end of today. Other guys, other teams that we've got to talk about. The Blazers. Okay, let's take a second and let's talk about the Mafia, which is not something I thought I'd ever say on this podcast because this isn't the Sopranos. This is Just Talk Hoops, a podcast about basketball. There's no way he talks about an illegal gambling ring with the Mafia, right? Well, we're still talking about basketball. Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, Kevin Garnett. Is Gilbert Arenas, I think he might have been arrested for the same thing, and then, he was arrested earlier. He was arrested, a month ago, and now it's kind of growing, right? So I don't know if that's all the players. I don't remember the list, but so I was watching the Trailblazers-Wolves game that night before the night before that report came out. I'm watching the Blazers-Wolves game. Chauncey Billups was coaching a basketball game, and actually a very good, well-coached basketball team because the Trailblazers, I kind of believe in that team. But then the next morning he's arrested by the FBI for gambling illegally with the Mafia. Now I'm not completely sure like why it's illegal. Um, I don't know if it was like in a place where they weren't like it was a gambling ring or something like that where they're like rigging games. I haven't looked a ton into it. I think it's that like rigging games thing, but why would a person with such a great job, a coach or an NBA player, get involved in that? Like, why would you do that? Are you trying to, like, you have such a great opportunity. Are you trying to get arrested? I don't understand. I don't understand it at all. Um, and a lot of people are making jokes about like it was betting on the games, which isn't what it was. I mean, Terry Rozier could have still been doing that, but it wasn't betting on the games. It was poker, from what I've seen. Um, but it's just such a weird situation. It's such a weird situation. The one that hurt me the most was Kevin Garnett because Kevin Garnett's one of my favorite players of all time. I love Kevin Garnett, and it's just like, oh, dude, like, why do you have to be involved in this? Like, come on, man. Terry Rozier, why is he still in the league? I don't understand. He's not very good. He hasn't been good really since Charlotte, and that was in Charlotte. Like he hasn't really been good. He's not really worth all the trouble that he brings. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, to look at the guys, yeah, I don't know. I can't put a ton into that just because I haven't researched a ton about that scandal. So I'm not going to talk a ton about that, but it's weird. Anyway, Portland though, how about them Blazers? It's we've got the Jail Blazers 2.0 people. We've got the 2025 Jail Blazers. Even though it's none of the players' fault, it's just the coach this time. But the Blazers, I think they're fun because they're just like a physical defense, a fighting defense. Like guys like Tamani Kamara, guys like Donovan Clingan. I'm really impressed, honestly, by their roster. I think that they should be really solid. They gave the Wolves a really good fight. On that game, the Wolves ended up winning because Anthony Edwards is ridiculous, and you can't do much against that or about that. But I mean, if you're a Blazers fan, I think you feel happy. Well, your coach just got arrested, so maybe not happy, but you feel good about the team. Then we've got one last thing to talk about before I get to games of the week, and it is that really tall guy in San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama. I hate to break it to the rest of the league. I don't know if this is the first you're hearing of it, so I'll put it delicately. No one else is going to win anything for the next, 12 years. The Defensive Player of the Year award and maybe the MVP award are locked up for the next 12 years. The Spurs might win the championship for 12 years. And now this is an exaggeration, obviously. I don't want you to actually think that's a prediction, but Victor Wembanyama is here. It is his time. So we saw last year, right? He goes down with an injury. It was something that people were like, I don't know, this could be difficult to come back from. Then he goes during the offseason and works with Buddhist monks Kevin Garnett and Hakeem Olajuwon, which is a hell of a big three. Hopefully he wasn't gambling with Kevin Garnett, or else we're gonna see some things show up about that. But Victor Wembanyama is here. He is now. He is the present. He is the future. I don't know. My thing just froze up a little bit, so I hope you guys heard all of that. But anyway, what I'm saying is Victor Wembanyama is such a ridiculous talent that I don't know if anyone else is going to be able to stop him. First of all, why is he able to block all the shots he is? He's able to. That's not right. That shouldn't be a thing. He's like 7'4", erasing shots that no one has business blocking. He's so ridiculously good at that. I just think he's nuts. He's nuts. He's so good. He's so good. He blocks shots like no one else in the league. He's really good. His 3-point shot is ridiculously good for his size. He's so good at handling the ball. He attacks the rim well, even though sometimes I think he doesn't do it enough. His post game looks better than it has. His footwork looks better than it has. He can score ridiculously well, and he's doing this against Anthony Davis, one of the best defenders of this generation. He's averaging 6 blocks per game on the season. 6 blocks per game. He's had 9 in one of the games. In his most recent game, let me just read off the stat lines, and you tell me that this isn't the most insane thing you've ever seen on a basketball court. So the first game of the season, in 30 minutes, he's 77th in the league in minutes per game. He had 40 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 blocks on 71% field goal shooting. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe he'll come back down to earth a little bit in the next game. Next game, he plays 32 minutes. Still not a lot. 29 points, 11 rebounds, 9 blocks. The efficiency went down a little bit, though, and he did have a negative plus-minus that game, which is interesting. But he's so statistically ridiculous. He's so ridiculously good. He plays today against the Nets, so I'm going to have to watch Nick Claxton, and now I love Clax, don't get me wrong. I'm going to have to watch Victor Wembanyama being defended by my team of Nick Claxton and Michael Porter Jr. as our front court bigs. What do we do? He's so good. He's so good. He's here. The alien has landed. The UFO has abducted the Earth because he's abducted the NBA. He has. It's over. It's over. The Spurs, congratulations. You won the lottery of the decade. Now, hopefully you can stay healthy. I do really like Wembanyama. So I say this as if the world is ending, like with all the, alien stuff. But I do really like him as a player and as a person. I don't know him personally, but from what it seems like who it seems like he is, he seems like a good dude. And I mean, I just congratulations to the Spurs. You've got it. You've got it. The NBA is yours. But the rest of the Spurs look really good too. Like the Spurs have just a good, solid, all-around team. Luke Cornett's look good off the bench. Devin Vassell is really good. Stephon Castle is so good. Dylan Harper's looked really solid so far. It's just like that team is here. That team is now. Do I think they're going to win the championship? No, but I think that they're gonna be a team that looks. It's a team you don't want to play against. Is like you just if a team sees them as their matchup in the first round of the playoffs, they're like, shit, how are we going to stop Wembanyama? I mean, it's fun. It's fun to watch. He's the most fun player to watch in the NBA. Although Zion punched it on him in like the first play of the Pelicans game. That was fun. Anyway, let's get on to the games of the week segment. So this might be a shorter episode because we're through like 40 minutes right now ish. But that's fine. I'm just giving takes off the top of my head. So last week, first game of the week, we predicted Houston versus OKC. We expected OKC to win. Now that one was close, came down to the wire. Great game, but OKC did end up winning that one. Wednesday, Cleveland, New York. New York looks really solid this year. I think they've just got really great talent. They're a really solid team. They should be one of the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference. They showed it on Wednesday. They won that game. Thursday, Nuggets Warriors. I already talked about how I underestimated the Warriors. I said the Nuggets were going to win that one. They almost did. It went to overtime, but the Warriors ended up winning that, so that was a miss. Then Wolves Lakers. Said the Wolves were going to win that one. I underestimated Luka. Is all. I underestimated Luka, and also I don't know. The Lakers won that one. I'm not terribly upset about that prediction, though. And then yesterday's game, OKC at Atlanta. I said OKC was going to win. OKC is so ridiculously good. They're basically a cheat code. So we went 3-2 on the week. That is now our 2026 record, right? So we're 3-2 to start. It's not the best, but we feel okay about it. It's whatever. Our total record is now 38-25. So we're all right. We're all right. Now this week we're going 7 for 7. That's the plan. This is our first 7-game week. It's always difficult to predict the first few weeks because I just don't know what every team looks like. Don't know how every team's going to perform. But on Sunday later today, we've got Bucks at the Cavaliers. That one's tough because the Bucks are 2-0 right now. The Cavs are 1-1. The Bucks are carried by one Greek dude, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They've got an okay supporting cast, but I don't really trust that team. Is all. I think that like so far they've played the Wizards and the Raptors. Meh. Now they're playing the Cavs, who've got Evan Mobley, who's a former defensive player, or last year's defensive player of the year, the reigning defensive player of the year, I should say. And I think he'll be able to do some solid stuff against Giannis. Will he stop Giannis? No. But him and Jared Allen should be able to at least make it a little more difficult for Giannis to dominate. And then the rest of that Bucks team doesn't move me. Give me the Cleveland Cavaliers. Monday, we've got Nuggets at Wolves. Now, this is this is a rivalry at this point. This is such a great roster. That is, or why did I say roster? I'm losing it today. I apologize. It is such a great rivalry. Different word that starts with R. I mean, the Nuggets always struggle with the Wolves, but this year, I mean, I know the Wolves look solid against Portland. I know that Anthony Edwards is probably going to have 40 plus in that game. But I just expect the Nuggets. Like I'm so high on this Nuggets team. I'm taking the Nuggets in that team, or in that game. Jesus. Tuesday, I got the Warriors Clippers, and you know what? I'm sorry, Warriors fans. I'm making it up to you right here. I'm sorry for underestimating you guys before this. I'm taking the Warriors. Now, am I high on the Warriors? Still not really. Like I'm still sort of like. Right now, it looks like I was wrong. I still think there's a chance that I was right. Because they did lose by 20 to the Trailblazers. But I'm going to take the Warriors here because they might have lost by 20 to the Trailblazers, but the Clippers lost by 21 to the Jazz. I think that, I don't know, I think that could go either way. That game starts at 9 o'clock Denver time, by the way, so I'm probably still watching it. On a weekday, though, like 9 o'clock, the game's not going to end until like 11:45. God. I mean, I'm still going to watch it, though. Wednesday, we've got our game of the week for that is Magic at Pistons. So far, the Magic have been okay. They just got blown out by Chicago, or maybe not blown out, but it happens. The Pistons also lost to Chicago, so Chicago is maybe just legit. Too legit to quit. I do like the Pistons beat the Rockets, though. They're such a great defensive team. The two of them as defensive squads is going to be really fun to watch. I'm going to take the Pistons just because they're at home, first of all. Second of all, I'm just high on the Pistons, honestly. And the Magic haven't really impressed me so far. Thursday, Heat at Spurs. We just talked about it. We just talked about the reason I'm saying the Spurs are going to win that game, because there's an alien. I could have gone a different game there. I could have gone Warriors-Bucks, but both of them already got a game of the week this week, and I wanted to give the Spurs one. So we're giving it to the Spurs. Then on Halloween, we've got a Halloween basketball on Friday, which is kind of fun. I probably won't watch these games because my high school has a football game against our crosstown rival, which we're going to, crush them, et cetera, et cetera. On that night, plus it's Halloween, I might not be watching it. But then again, I really like watching basketball. I'm going to go Celtics-Sixers as the game there. I know the Celtics have disappointed so far, which isn't really surprising, seeing as their roster isn't great. But they've still, I still do kind of believe in that team a little bit, just because they do still have some really talented guys. And then the Sixers have looked really good. Oh, I forgot to talk about VJ Edgecombe earlier in the episode. VJ Edgecombe is ridiculous. I tried to tell people that VJ Edgecombe might steal Cooper Flagg's Rookie of the Year, and it looks like it might happen. Cooper Flag is about to get his chain snatched by VJ Edgecombe. I believe in VJ Edgecombe. That is Victor Oladipo 2.0. Hopefully he doesn't get injured, though. Saturday, this is the last game of the week for us. We've got Rockets at Celtics. That was kind of the only one that really moved me from this slate of games because I'm not choosing the Kings, Hornets. I mean, it could have been Warriors at Pacers, but Rockets at Celtics just because I want to get a Rockets team in here. The Rockets so far, are they 0-2? Yes, but like I said, they're better than an 0-2 team. I'm taking the Rockets there. I think that we're going to see them really bounce back, really start to look like the talented team that they are. But that is all the games of the week. So make sure drop yours in the comments. Drop your predictions for these games. Tell me, do you think the Bucks are going to beat the Cavs? Do you think the Celtics are going to beat the Rockets or the Sixers? You know, we've got 2 Celtics games this week. Like, just let me know. Let me know what your favorite game is, whatever it is. Drop some comments. You know, interact with me. I love to debate basketball. If you've got a question for me, drop it in there. I will for sure answer. But it's been really fun to run this podcast. I really hope you guys enjoyed this installment. Jesus, listen. I know I'm out of it today. I apologize. I'm thinking about watching basketball. Nets game starts in an hour and a half from when I'm recording this. So when this podcast comes out, I will be watching the Nets game. But super fun. Start to the season. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. I hope you guys enjoy the games from this next week. I know I will. I will see you guys then. Once again, drop something in the comments. Drop a like. Drop a subscribe. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys enjoy the games. Have a great one.